There comes a moment when God calls you away from the noise and into his presence. This March 20th and 21st in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, you are invited to the Sacred Oils Women's Prayer Retreat, a place of healing, a place of renewal, a place where hearts are anointed and lives are restored. This is more than a retreat. It's a divine appointment. Come weary and leave renewed. Come empty and leave filled. Sacred oil, your moment with God is waiting. Welcome back to Grace in the Journey. This is part 6 and the final part of rebuilding what was broken. All right, we've acknowledged the crack and we've owned our part. We've rebuilt trust brick by brick. We've learned to communicate safely. We've walked through forgiveness. But rebuilding isn't just about repairing damage. It's about deciding what happens next. Because here's the truth. If you don't intentionally build something new, you will unconsciously repeat something old. Today we're talking about legacy. Not the legacy you inherited. The one you're choosing to create. So let's begin. Building a new legacy. Every family has patterns. Some are beautiful. Some are painful. Some were spoken out loud. Others were silently absorbed. Maybe you grew up in a home where conflict meant yelling or silence or walking on eggshells. Maybe affection was rare. Maybe apologies were never modeled. Maybe forgiveness wasn't practiced. And without realizing, many of us repeat what we were shown. Not because we want to, but because it's familiar. In Judges 2:10, it says something sobering. After that whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who neither knew the Lord nor what he had done. One generation drifted, and the next repeated the loss. See, patterns unexamined become patterns repeated. But here's the powerful truth. Cycles can be broken. Ezekiel 18:2-3 speaks against the proverb that children must suffer for their father's sins. God says, the one who sins is the one who will die. In other words, you're not doomed to repeat what you've handed. You can choose differently. Rebuilding what was broken isn't just about repairing one relationship. It's about redefining how your family operates moving forward. It's choosing calm over chaos, accountability over blame, grace over pride, boundaries over dysfunction, consistency over emotional vitality. Legacy is built in daily decisions. Deuteronomy 30:19 says, I have set before you life and death. Now choose life. Choose life in how you respond. Choose life in how you speak. Choose life in how you forgive. Choose life in how you love. Because someone is watching. Your children, your spouse, your extended family, even if your children are grown, even if the relationships feel strained, you can still become the stabilizing force. Psalms 145:4 says, one generation commands your works to another. Legacy isn't about perfection. It's about intentionality. You may not be able to control everyone's choices, but you can control the culture you carry. And culture, it spreads. When you stop reacting and start responding, culture shifts. When you apologize first, culture shifts. When you hold boundaries without hostility, culture shifts. When you choose prayer over panic, culture shifts. Some of you are grieving what your family used to be. But what if God is inviting you to build something deeper than it ever was before? Not surface harmony, mature unity, not silence, safe conversation, not performance, authenticity. Rebuilding what was broken doesn't mean going back. It means moving forward with wisdom. And here's the beautiful part. When you build differently, the next generation benefits. Your ceiling becomes their floor. You're not just repairing relationships. You are rewriting history. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. New creation applies to families too. Old cycles don't get the final word. God does. And if you've walked through this series right here, honestly, humbly, courageously, then you are already building a new legacy, brick by brick, choice by choice, prayer by prayer. The past may explain you, but it does not define you. The crack may have shaken you, but it doesn't own you. You're not just rebuilding what was broken. You're becoming the generation that changed the pattern. And that is powerful. Before we close out this series, I want you to hear me very clearly. You're not powerless in your family's story. You may not control every chapter, but you can decide how you show up in the next one. Rebuilding takes humility, courage, patience, forgiveness, consistency. And you have leaned into every one of those. Comment legacy if this series has meant something to you. Let this be the moment you decide it changes with me. Not perfectly, but intentionally. This has been rebuilding what was broken. And I believe with all of my heart, God is not just repairing your family. He is refining it. This is Grace in the Journey. And your legacy, it starts now. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.